Hello and welcome to a wonderful Saturday morning of X-Wing. We have for you today I guess, our first ever Sydney. What did we call it? Sydney. No, it was Space Slugs Saturday Extravaganza. So this is we'll be streaming from 10 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, which is now, until I believe we will finish up at around 4:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. So that is 6.5 hours of X-Wing after X-Wing after X-Wing. We're going to have a rotating cast of commentators and also obviously a rotating cast of players. The sitting in the commentary box with me right now, though, is fellow Slug and I guess most handsome man in X-Wing, I guess, is Tom Harper.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction, Cameron. And thank you for coming up with this fantastic idea. So as the COVID pandemic has continued to evolve here in New South Wales, unfortunately, our first event in nearly 18 months was set to be today. Unfortunately, did get cancelled. So Cameron came up with the fantastic idea of trying to keep the community invested and excited and exposed to some X-Wing. And here we are streaming 4 wonderful games of X-Wing.
And we have exposed some X-Wing here. So we have 2 local Sydney players, both who were actually I don't think Kyle was, but we'll pretend that he was, both attending the tournament that would be ongoing right now if it weren't for the spicy cough going around. So we have Kyle O'Grady. He's a fairly new player. He only started playing this year, but he has very quickly become very confident in his Scum squads. So he's a Scum player through and through, and he has brought himself here to the table. And then we have fellow Slug Jim Hook on the other side, flying something he's been testing for a little while now. The squad that I know he would have brought with him to the tournament, and that is his FO squad. So I'm going to run through the Scum and Villainy squad on the left here with Kyle, and Tom, you are going to run us through Jim's squad.
Yes, sir.
Kyle is running Crassus Trellix. I'm going to get her cards up on the screen for you there. She can perform her forward arc special attacks from her rear arc, and while she does one of those special attacks, she can re-roll an attack dice. So essentially that allows her to shoot her auto blasters or her thread tracers out the front or out the back, but the main reason for her choice here, the choice of this pilot, is a fully modded thread tracers. You just take a focus and you're re-rolling one of those dice when you fire the thread tracers, and that will enable his other ships to fire off their shots with double mods. Then we've just got a Tensari Point veteran with Cutthroat and Advanced Proton torpedoes. 2 Tensari Point veterans with Cutthroat and Advanced Protons. Black Sun Soldier with Cutthroat and Thread Tracers as well. And then a Black Sun Soldier just naked. He's running around in his Dax.
Yeah, very, very excited to see these fully modded thread tracers, and how they synergize with these advanced proton torpedoes and the potential blocking power that these Initiative 3 pilots have in terms of setting those up. Because, even after the thread tracers are fired, a Crassus Trellix can really threaten both front and rear arc auto blaster shots with those rerolls, and these kind of crit generating mechanics in marksmanship and the new Slave 1 title. So very excited to see how that goes. On Jim's side, this is a squadron that he's been working on for quite some time. We have Hollow with Proud Tradition, Pattern Analyzer, and Thread Tracers. So Pattern Analyzer and Proud Tradition are essentially going to enable this TIE Baron to always have double mods of some kind. So Hollow and any TIE Baron can generally have fully modified attack dice. And you can continue that trend with Proud Tradition and Pattern Analyzer after you fully execute a red maneuver. But the strength is you can also take a focus and an evade action. So Pattern Analyzer, you fully execute a red maneuver, you get a free action, that being, say, an evade token. And then Proud Tradition allows you to actually perform focus actions even while you're stressed. So a really, really strong piece in Hollow. Going to be able to support the rest of the squadron with thread tracers. So very excited to see how that goes. Free reign over the board as well, because it will be the highest. It'll be moving after Kyle's entire squadron. Then we have a series of TIE FO fighters. We have 3 Omega Squadron Aces, all with Proud Tradition. And some pilot that we haven't seen in quite some time is Midnight, also packing Proud Tradition. So Jim and I have talked about this inclusion for quite some time. I am really excited to see how it goes against a more beefy squadron in Kyle's, for example, or say against another swarm of some kind. But Midnight, with some of those fragile ace builds, such as the Eater 2 and Anakin or Obi or Shak T, going to be a really, really strong piece, especially at I6 and preventing any modifications being spent on attack or defense. So really, really cool. I think Midnight might be a really interesting choice because even if you are facing against a predominant swarm squad, it's just another TIFO running at a high initiative and with some efficient dice. What do you think about that one, Cameron?
I just want to, before I run into this, I just want to thank our first 2 ever subscribers. So we hit affiliate yesterday, and we have 2 subscribers already. So a big shout out. That's that really loud music you heard before. Actually, you might not have heard it, but it's very loud. It's really loud. I need to turn it down. But a big shout out to Suresh K668 and the Cam Damage for being the first subscribers.
Thanks so much, guys. Really appreciate it.
Really appreciate that, guys. Yeah, it's just fun and exciting. Thank you, Brad Scott of Wide Unplugged fame for the follow. So what was the question again? Sorry, I was so excited about getting those 2 subscribers. I lost track. Midnight.
What do you think of Midnight?
Midnight is really strong. Is a really strong piece, I think. Including her in the squad really allows Hollows at I5. That I6, and Jim has a decent bid as well. He's got 196, so it's not as if. Oh, actually, sorry, I need to let the guys know that they're good to start. I think they're setting dials still.
Yep.
But I'll just let in the chat. They're ready to go. But the power of Midnight is that she actually helps threaten the I6s that might come in for Hollow. Because although it's only a 2 dice gun, you're defending completely unmodded every time if she's got a target lock on you. So if she sets that lock up, she will hunt down the I6 on the other side. Obviously, there's no I6 in this game. But, I mean, those thread tracers aren't going to do anything on Hollow if she locks onto Crassus. So it'll be interesting to see who Jim uses Midnight to sort of box out of the game and how he utilizes her ability, given it won't have as much play as it has for him in games against on I6. And I do think he's got to be worried that if Kyle can get off these thread tracers into, say, Hollow, and every shot goes in double modded, even if they're only 2 dice guns, it's still going to hurt, and especially if it's one of those advanced proton torpedoes.
Absolutely. Yep, for sure. So really interesting to see. So what do you... Oh, you good?
Sorry, all the guys are set. I'm just going to let them know we're good to go. Good to go. All right, so just making sure we sync the timer.
So really interesting here. We've got tied initiatives for all of the generic pilots here. So who do you think that kind of gives an advantage to? We do have Jim as the first player, it seems. So his initiative 3 is going to be moving first, potentially bumping up these Tansari Point veterans and these Black Sun soldiers to prevent them double modding.
Initiative right here.
Yep. So preventing those double modded attack dice coming in with the advanced proton torpedoes or just range 1 double mods. So who do you think that favors? Do we think that advantage Jim or advantage Kyle here, just in terms of squad build?
I think the advantage in a matchup like this, where maneuverability of the pilot skill, what's it called now, initiative, the initiative matching in squads like this, where maneuverability isn't that much of a factor, it usually, in my opinion, would favor the person with the first player token, because Jim can get in there, get mods, block up, and still get decent shots with mods. And Kyle, he's barrel rolling here right now, but the barrel roll, that's not the point of these ships. They're there to just be the firing block. They want to take mods. They want to get modded shots off. So I think it benefits Jim in my long way of saying that.
Yeah, and you can see that Jim's kind of squaring up for the joust here, probably anticipating the ability for him to block. up these ships. I'd be really interested to see what Crassus does. I think Crassus in this squad has a fantastic ability to get a really good flank. But we can also see Crassus do some cheeky stuff, like flying over the top of one of her enemy aces, and then shooting auto blasters out the rear to kind of prevent or get those crits in with that native reroll that Crassus has on special weapons. So really interested. It's quite a flexible piece. You can joust and then jump over with the auto blasters. But you can also get a good flank and then give modifications to all of your generic pilots here. So I'll be interested to see how he goes about it. What do you think about the? Oh, you go.
What is the range on thread tracers? Is it 1 to 3?
It is, yeah, 1 to 3.
Mm.
Yeah. So if you fire thread tracers at range 3, because you've got a native reroll, you're gonna be more likely to actually score a hit than Crassus would natively, shooting a primary weapon at range 3, and then you're able to set up some really good engagements for second round, third round engagement with not only Crassus but all of her other ships as well.
Yeah, definitely. Crassus' positioning here, she's not. Jim is sort of telling Kyle, "Hey, you've got to pick. Do you want to go all of my ships? All my Initiative 3 ships, or do you want to turn in here on this bottom side of the board?" Crassus is set up perfectly to take that bottom side of the board lane, but the only problem is there that those 4 little guys are going to struggle to get in and get valid shots once they set up these target locks. That line of gas clouds there is definitely working against Kyle's favour here, I think.
Yeah, correct. And I think that Midnight is in a fantastic position to kind of shelter behind these gas clouds, especially the gas cloud dead set in the middle. Hide behind there, grab a target lock on Crassus to prevent modifications, and also use the gas cloud as cover from the 4 incoming shots. And then has a perfect exit strategy as well by either hopping over Crassus or kind of taking shelter behind another gas cloud, and then getting a good flank, etc. What does Hollow do here, though? Are we going to be focusing on the generics, or are we going to be focusing on Crassus?
I think Hollow's in a good enough position, hiding behind those gas clouds at the moment, with that line sort of blocking the turn in from the little guys, that I think Jim probably wants to take advantage of this sort of lone Crassus setup, and just try and punch in as much damage as he can. He really needs to take... Crassus is the heavy hitter of the squad, and if you can take her down or at least get her limping before everyone else figures out what's going on, I think that will benefit Jim greatly. He just needs to make sure that he's not getting shot back from Crassus into Hollow, because even the fully modded auto blaster cannon can be pretty devastating, especially if you get caught in the bullseye.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think maybe a point of flexibility that we haven't yet pointed out with Crassus is that you have multiple ways of getting fully modified range 1 dice, right? So let's say you skip the bullseye, or the enemy has dodged the bullseye at range 1. If you've already landed those tracers, you still have focus target lock shots into a range 1 enemy. You know what I mean? So you've got fully modified secondary weapons, and you can potentially, albeit let's assume that the tracers hit, you then have a fully modified primary weapon as well, to really hammer home damage when you need it. And let's say you didn't get the bullseye with the auto blaster cannon. So there's just so many ways of using this piece to constantly push through damage, and I actually quite like it. So I'll be really interested to see what happens in the second and third engagements. You can see Jim here really kind of pushing the issue against the enemy block of generics. I think that he's going to go for those blocks and prevent some of those advanced proton torpedoes from getting double modifications.
Yeah, I mean, the question is Kyle happy to send some of these advanced proton torpedoes into these TIE fighters? The TIE fighters are worth 30 points with Proud Tradition. And Proud Tradition is going to be a big piece, I think, that Jim will leverage here. There's going to be a lot of sloops and K-turns with fully modded dice, keeping time on target. And that's something that I'm not sure Kyle's generics can keep up with. But we see here Kyle is turning in. He's deciding not to let those gas clouds scare him away, and he's going to turn in. He wants Midnight or Hollow, it seems. Now, actually, no, he's splitting his fire, and he's going to decide to stop both entry points for the TIE fighters, it seems. So it is good to note that Kyle and Jim had a practice game last night. Kyle not super confident in TTS, so they took a practice game last night just to get Kyle's confidence up.
So here, I think just taking a focus would be the best course of action, and here he does. Yep, with Crassus, absolutely. And then we have a bump on the red Tansari, but this isn't actually too bad because whichever if Jim zigs, then Kyle can zag, so he can kind of get a good flank with either of these generic blocks. Excuse me.
That's not a bad spot for Hollow. Hollow's likely obstructed, or maybe not, just on the angle of Crassus's arc there. He's either going to keep obstruction for the Z95 shot, or change direction and get out of Crassus's arc.
Yeah. Do you think you reposition here and try and get some shots into generics, or do you just accept that Crassus is going to shoot you with a tracer thread?
The one problem as well is that with Hollow's ability, she has to pass off a token. So you would assume that he probably takes a target lock with his chassis ability, and then maybe just grabs an evade or something. I should also mention as well, those of you who've been joining the games over the last couple of weeks, we've been running mostly XTC, which means we have to have a 90-second delay, but given these games are a little bit more casual, we've just removed the delay completely. So if you have any thoughts and feelings that you want to share in the chat, please do. We're both watching, and we want to hear what you guys have to say as well, because although we are clearly the most intelligent men in X-Wing, we're not always right.
So just on that, a bit more of a stream interaction from us will be in order today. And I'll start by saying hello to Axio, who says pop pop. Twitchy, 5x5, who just says hello. Suresh, who not only subscribed, but says hello. And Darth Wombat, who seems to pop up and be really kind of online whenever we need him to be. So I really appreciate that.
We do love you, Darth Wombat.
Okay, so we've taken a deplete and an evade token to get a target lock on the blue Z95. And then here we see Hollow, taking cover behind that gas cloud and taking the lock onto Crassus to prevent any modifications.
So the only problem I see with, not problem, but one of the, desired drawbacks or the intended drawbacks of Midnight is the fact that you don't get mods when you acquire that lock, because you don't want to spend it on your attack, because then your opponent can then mod their defense dice, and then they can also mod if they shoot back after you. So Jim here trying to decide which token to pass off. I mean,
that's actually quite beautiful though with Hollow, isn't it? The synergy there, because if Hollow's safe and not getting shots, and Midnight does need a defensive token, then you can pass her stuff.
But Hollow is your 62-point endgame ace. I don't think I would want to pass off. I think I'd try and throw that deplete to the blue Epsilon up there.
Yep.
Omega, sorry. I just don't think it's worth. I don't think it's worth passing off that.
The evade.
The evade.
If you're Kyle here, do you still shoot the traces into Crassus?
I think. Say again.
The traces from Crassus, do you still shoot them into Midnight?
No, because you're only getting 2 target locks, and they're not going to be great target locks. So
I think you'd get 3.
3, and those 3, but they're not going to be great. So we get no damage coming into Crassus from Hollow's shot. Kyle grabbing everything on the board there.
And his Hollow obstructed into the Z95. So these gas clouds are really going to do some work.
So he depleted as well in that shot?
Yep. I wouldn't spend the lock, but he will.
Probably just wants to strip that token to make sure that the Z has a very unpleasant shot back.
Yep. Should be 4 dice on this defensive roll, but it might not make a difference. It does.
It does make a difference.
I've just said
yeah,
in the
good,
chat, one more green. They're not looking. One more green defense. Just got to get them to follow the rules here, guys. So, and because it's not an XTC game, we are allowed to interrupt. So there we go. It does make a difference because we wouldn't need to spend the focus token. Plus the cloud effect, exactly.
Yep, so we will keep the guys honest today. No cheating from Jim.
Yep, 100%.
He never cheats, but I don't want to say that because then people might think I'm serious. He doesn't cheat. He's a very honest guy. So
we'll
two ineffectual shots.
No focus spend off blue. Z95. Just keep him honest because he didn't need to spend that because he had enough evade tokens from the cloud and the natural evade.
Yep. So here we have the red. No, not red. What color is he? Green. We have the green Omega Squadron firing a shot into that blue as well. I think the guys are just chatting it out.
Is that in range? Oh yeah, just in range.
It's fine. Kyle's saying he spent the focus. I guess he just wants to spend it. It's fine.
Okay. Cool.
All right, we will try and keep interruptions to a minimum anyway. We don't want to ruin the flow of the game.
Sorry.
I think Jim has realised what's happened, that he didn't need to spend the focus token, so he just brought the focus token back. Yep.
Correct. Yep.
Twitchy 505. Yeah, cloud effect. That was I think what the guys were forgetting there. So a good shot there from Green. He's only got the focus here for defense. There's a good chance of at least getting a shield off in this exchange, which would be great for Jim, just to sort of weaken down, and maybe forces this focus token spend as well. I think you probably do. There's no need. Your shots back aren't very good anyway.
Correct. You're not going to do any damage on the return because of the gas cloud, etc. So yeah, I'm really keen to see Crassus work though, because after this initial exchange, you're in risk of taking rear arc autoblaster shots from wherever Crassus goes now. So I'm actually quite excited. Do you turn left here with Crassus and kind of snuggle in between these gas clouds?
I think so. Yeah. Because you sort of block Hollow off as well. I mean, she does have the one hard, but then you've got that rear arc in play at that point. You can tune in on these TIE fighters. So I think that's your best bet because you can block up Midnight and you get Crassus back with the rest of your ships as well. Because that Z95 has a really nice 1 bank or even a 2 bank, 3 bank, 3 turn if needed.
Yeah, correct. Not sure who he shot at, but it's not going to make a difference with the gas cloud. I believe it would have been Hollow. Probably. It actually could have been Midnight to try and strip the evade to get whatever Crassus decides to shoot to sink.
Yeah.
And we'll see Crassus coming in here.
So it is obstructed. That was a shame. That shot would have been really beautiful into Hollow at range 3 with... at that point, I probably would have taken a primary shot into Hollow.
Yeah, I agree.
But at this... I mean, you probably just take a primary shot. You can't mod your traces. You're not going to get a lot of quality locks anyway. So not quite sure what weapon Kyle's using, but I guess we'll be able to tell from the amount of greens.
Hasn't spent a charge.
Right. So primary, and that pass of the evade token actually worked out really well.
Yeah, absolutely. But you see the power there, preventing a whole other hit and actually a whole damage going through onto Midnight due to having the lock on that ship. So just a really good little pocket ace. Say you've got an Eater on the board or a CLT Jedi, Aether Sprite, even a Suntir, running in fear, essentially, because you're only relying on natties. And that's never a nice strategy to take.
Yeah.
So what do we see from the scum block here, Cameron?
I think you need to get in and stop Midnight from turning in. I think Kyle needs to get it too hard in there with Crassus and even perhaps a boost, but probably just a too hard and a focus. I think the little block can't commit now into Hollow or into Midnight. Just the position of those, the red, green, and yellow. I think they need to come round that debris and punish the TIE fighters. I think they've just got to blow these TIE fighters up.
Yep. Okay, so you just trade TIE fighters and try and get Crassus into the late game?
Yeah, because I think if you too hard Crassus in, there's a chance you'll be able to get your traces off. And I mean as well, Jim is moving first. So there's a chance that that one of these 10 story point veterans might actually just get the range for a advanced proton torpedo and just take a lock and shoot it.
Yeah, absolutely. And also the 2 hard in really keeps Hollow honest, because the auto blasters through the gas cloud are actually still quite deadly, because any crits that you roll will be converted to damage. And while you're performing a front attack with the Slave 1 title, if you're in the defender's rear arc, you can change 1 hit to a crit. You've also got marksmanship. Jim will be able to probably try and avoid the barrel roll, but has to be wary of bumps too. So I think Jim probably 1 left hards toward the board edge with Hollow, but you're going to be bumped actually by Midnight. So not a fantastic position for Hollow. What do you do to avoid the worst of this engagement?
I don't think there is much you can do. Honestly, the 2 hard is probably your safest bet. Maybe bait out the an auto blaster instead of a thread tracer into enabling fully modded shots. She needs 1 more turn. She can't quite. A 2 sloop's not going to help her.
No.
Yeah, I think she sort of needs to weather this next turn and then bug out. I think she just needs to try and take this turn as it comes, because those ships. I mean, the red skick can bank in and get some shots in, but the other 2 are a little too out of position. Thank you, McLovin, for subscribing. Appreciate that.
McLovin.
I'm a McLovin it. So I think, and I mean, the TIE fighters are pretty happy to just. I mean, you could punch in a fast maneuver, right? You could even do a 4 straight with the green. Blue is pretty much destined for that that debris in the middle there. Yellow, same.
I think you just punch a 5 forward with green, to be honest, and really try and block up as much as you can.
Yeah.
It also enables the 4K next turn with Proud Tradition, giving you a focus token. So just move really quick. Try and keep blue honest. The blue Z95. Then you can kind of fall forward and reposition with both yellow and blue TIE fighters.
Another good point, actually, Tom. Sorry to cut you off. He's not doing it this turn, but he can actually just hit that debris, take a stress, roll for the crit. You got a 1 in 8 chance of taking damage, and he can still focus because of Proud Tradition.
That's very true. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, and the TIE FO dial giving you the 2 hards is also fantastic. But we are going to try and cut off the yellow and green scum ships here, and even potentially the red Tensari Point veteran. But Crassus coming around, say, 2 hard between these gas clouds, getting a fully modified tracer thread into one of these TIE fighters might actually allow Kyle to get off 1 or 2 advanced proton torpedoes this round. So that's quite nice.
So we've got a really nice block set up here and I'm wondering if Kyle's going to be tempted to get a shot and barrel. I think he might already have a shot on green. It's a little bit close from this angle.
Got it. Yeah.
I mean, you just focus here. You've
100%.
got blue. Blue does not have the green, has the thread tracers, the other thread tracers. So Crassus doesn't even need to take. Takes a lock. Probably just needed a focus there. I guess you're not really taking a shot, right? Because Midnight's not going to be able to... There's perfect. 2 hard in. Very good. I think you block every maneuver that Midnight wants to do there. And you get shots on her if she does anything else. So that's a very good move.
Yeah, if she breezes over you, you get rear auto blaster shots. If she bumps into you, that's fantastic. And you're also keeping Hollow honest here as well. And, the target lock's not a bad choice, simply because if you're not anticipating shooting this round, then or getting shot, then you can do a flip next turn, and you've got mods at least. Not taking any damage from the overlap of the debris field, which is nice. Probably range 1 of green, definitely yellow. So we might see an advanced proton torpedoes shot here, but unfortunately,
green has thread tracers as well. So green can actually use his thread tracers to set up a lock. Well done there.
Yeah.
That was a really good little spot to put himself in.
Yeah, it is a shame that that yellow clipped that debris, because we're not going to have a double modded proton torpedoes, but it is what it is. Do you barrel roll here to try and get range 1, or do you just take a focus and
I think you barrel roll to the left.
Yeah, there it is. I don't think he's going to get range 1.
Yeah, go forward. Yeah, I don't think you'll get range 1 either, but that's a much better position to be in
for next turn.
Yeah, for next turn, because he can probably fit in a 5k there. And again, you don't really want to be doing K turns into K turns from against these TIE fighters, because they will still get mods and you won't. But I think it will be much better than just getting shot in the back.
And here is the potential auto blaster shots coming in.
So that's a beautiful auto blaster. That's a guaranteed 2 damage. There's nothing Midnight can do about it.
You can't modify dice.
Okay. That's actually, I take it back. That's a really beautiful counter, I suppose, to the auto blaster cannon.
Yeah, absolutely. Takes a focus. What's your target priority here? You're just looking to reset and re-engage. I might even be tempted to take an evade here with Midnight, just to prevent.
I would evade, yeah.
Yeah, damage coming through.
Because you're taking 4 dice. Auto blaster cannon. That's gonna be bad.
I feel like you might actually shoot hollow here, to be honest.
I don't know.
You can't modify against Midnight. You get a reroll with Crassus against hollow. Yeah, it's deadly.
It's a whole lot of nothing out of Jim's Midnight shot there. Yeah, I think target you're probably right, actually. I mean, yeah, Jim's aces don't have great shots here. The only unobstructed shot is into a ship that has a focus. I think you shoot green, because that will stop advanced proton torpedoes coming in on yellow, who is also unmodded as well.
Yep. Well, I mean, Crassus could shoot traces into the yellow TIE fighter to try and get the modifications. But if you do get to strip that focus off green, then yeah, you're potentially stopping some munitions being launched here. Just one. Probably not going to... Even if you did kind of need to spend the focus, you probably wouldn't.
I'd say Hollow's in a much better position now for next turn than she was last turn.
Yeah, 100%.
You've got the sloops active, but you've still just got to be careful. Crassus double arc is really scary against a ship that's got 4 health. Alright, so Jim's guys do get to shoot first, of course, which means that he is a solid chance he may force focus spend out of that green, and I think you shoot into green. I know it's tempting to shoot into the Skix because they've got no mods, but you've got to shoot into green. You've got to get rid of that thread tracer's potential. Yeah, the
Z95s are also much easier to kill as well. With that two agility instead of 3, just an easier time to take down. He is thinking about it though, waving his hand around. But I think you are right, Cameron. I think you have to shoot the Z95 here.
You've got 3 shots into him. A very good chance that he spends that focus to live.
No, does decide to go for the Skik.
I think he may come to regret that, because you're not going to get it off the board and stop it from shooting. And it's... No, he changes his mind. His mind. Maybe he's listening in.
We are going to spend focuses here. Try and get it. Yep.
I think you take a shield, or you can't do anything about it. Take a shield. Yep. You're not too upset about that. You still got 2 more shots coming in.
Keeping the target priority alive.
Jim is hoping to not see blanks. Gets another 2 in.
It's getting dangerous. Yeah. So do you
Take the
do you
shield.
take half?
You take half. Yep, he's going to do it.
And he does.
I think that's a good. I think it's a good idea. The damage output potential now from the other two into that one ship, you'll be trading a 27-point ship for a 30-point ship.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, that's a pretty good roll. That's exactly what Jim needed. Are we going to see a Dead Zone 95? Statistically, yes.
yeah, and I think you just let it die as long as you don't get weapons failure.
Oh no!
Gets the dice he needs, takes a crit,
What is it?
and it is
Blinded.
blinded.
That's
No,
big.
that or weapons failure was like the only thing you didn't want to see there. Oh no, that's sad. That's sad for Cole. But you know what? Still take the shot. Still take the
I'd
shot.
be tempted to almost shoot Crassus first here, but I mean, you have blinded anyway, so you do have to shoot your traces, which he is doing. I'm not sure who he's shooting into. I believe it'll probably be yellow.
It'd be yellow, for sure.
How important are we going to see blinded pilot being here?
I mean, we did stream a game last night where blinded pilot was
Massive.
massive.
Not too big, but it would have been a 3 hit.
Yeah,
so if we
that
get
would have
2
been big.
evades,
Let's see. So Jim needs these dice to come out for him here, and doesn't quite get it. So that's a target lock from pretty much everyone on the board. That was a very, very good output there.
do you shoot red Tensari Point veteran here to try and strip the shield
Yes.
and then hammer through? Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean the argument could be made that red can just one shot. So yellow can just one shot. The other yellow with an advanced proton torpedoes. And the other thing as well, this actually I think it's really important to double check Cutthroat, the wording on Cutthroat, because I think Jim just did a great job at stopping. So I'm just going to quickly bring Cutthroat up on the screen there. After another friendly ship at range 0 to 3 is destroyed. Yeah, okay. So that's at this point now is when he would have regened the advanced proton torpedoes. So that's a boon to Jim here, is shooting first meant that he could kill a ship before Kyle got to spend an advanced proton torpedoes.
Okay. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, because if
That's
it had been the other way around, he would have regained that advanced proton torpedo.
So if only he hadn't clipped this debris, this would have been a double modded advanced proton torpedo into an unmodified defender. Might not make a difference. We do have the target lock. He could get lucky here and convert 2 pitches.
And he's got 2 crits coming in as well, with the at least so far. Oh!
Whoa.
Oh my god!
4 crits. Okay.
Well, Jim got a really good roll before, so I don't think he can. I don't
So it
think
balances out. And that is a dead
that
TIE
is a
fighter.
dead TIE fighter. That is, wow, that was very good from Kyle. I mean, he spent. I mean, and also important to note that although Yellow has spent his advanced proton torpedo, he's not actually out, because Cutthroat means that he can regen that. So Yellow took a whole bunch of crits. I'm not going to bother updating the overlay for the crits, but we'll kill the poor guy. Send him down to the bottom. Solid work there from Kyle, I think. Setting that up was just very good, and exploding a ship in one shot was great.
Absolutely.
And now he can just shoot red into whoever he wants. And now Crassus as well can shoot. Really great engagement here for even if just positioning wise, the shots that he's got, every single one of his ships has taken a decent shot. So
absolutely.
Yeah, definitely good positioning here from Kyle to engage on these TIE fighters.
Would have loved to have seen the focus, but it doesn't make a difference. I would have loved to have seen the focus from the blue Z95 there, just to kind of, you're going to get the target lock off of the tracer's hit anyway. So he actually did switch the token. He actually does swap. Cameron, you're cleaning that up. That's good. Because he took the target lock on Hollow, and then he decided to switch it to the yellow TIE fighter anyway. So I think a focus probably just would have given him more bang for buck, or not trading the shot. not trading the target priority and keeping the lock on Hollow.
Yeah, I think it was a misplay putting the lock over onto yellow because it was not going to live. It was not going to live.
The other thing that you can do with Hollow is, of course, transfer the target lock away.
No, I don't think you can. I think it's the other way
is
around.
it only your tokens?
Yeah, it's only your tokens. So,
okay.
And you also can't pass the ownership of the target lock, your target lock, to someone else. Sure. I could be wrong, and if someone in the chat wants to correct me, feel free. So this is a good opportunity. He does have the Auto Blaster Cannon into green there.
Do you do it?
I mean, I don't know. I think you shoot Hollow. I really do. If you've got range one, that's 3 dice. Although you're not going to get any auto crit mods, there's still a chance you can roll some crits. You're getting a reroll. You've got a focus token there.
Yeah, I agree.
It is obstructed, I believe. But
crits aren't going to make that matter, so if you just get lucky, you can strip half health.
I mean, if Midnight didn't have that target log on you, Midnight would probably be limping or dead.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think that's the strength of Midnight. I think it would be. I mean, you can just roll the 4 dice on average. I think you do get 1 crit, and you can try to take a shield off Midnight. But I think the appropriate decision here is going to be Hollow, because you're in a good position. In Kyle's shoes here, you're in a good position to kind of maintain pressure on Midnight. I think any straight maneuver has to go over the debris field there. The safest move, the 1 hard off of the red Tensori Point veteran probably gets range 1 coverage at a 2 sloop from Hollow. So Hollow's in a bit of a predicament here, and we do see Kyle recognizing that and taking a long time to think about his target opportunities. So I will be interested to see what happens.
Yeah, just give me 1 second. I will be quiet for a moment.
Okay, I'll keep the chat alive. So chat, what do you guys think? Is it advantage Carl or advantage Jim here? And what would we like to see both players do next turn? Anything specific? Okay, so he is going to shoot the Auto Blaster Cannon into green. He's going to have marksmanship. I believe he's going to proc Slave 1, and he's going to get a free reroll.
So who is this into?
As well, the green TIE Fighter.
So he won't get Slave 1 because Slave 1 is you need to be in the full rear arc.
Is it full rear arc or is it just in the rear arc?
Oh, wait, hang on.
Yeah,
that's
it's
a
just
great
in
question.
The defenders. It's not fully within.
Let me see. Slave. Did I pick the right one? I did. Yeah, if you are in the defenders. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Sorry.
He's going to get free. So spends the focus. I think you just do half health here. Change 1 from marksmanship and change 1 from Slave 1, and he gets a free half health on green.
Wow. Well, honestly, this is a really solid build on Crassus.
Okay, we're actually going to get hit crit, which is even worse. So we could actually see green die here to some bad crits. Structural damage, which is nasty. And we have direct hit. Yeah.
Wow. Solid engagement here. And honestly, I think that was the right call. I think that was a good target priority. You were guaranteed 2 crits into that ship, right? As long as you got 2 paint, you were getting 2 crits into that ship. So
yeah, it's a guaranteed half.
So with the round ending, that puts the current score at Kyle in the lead with 60 points and Jim on 27.
How did he get 27? Because the Z95's not dead.
Oh. I thought the Z95 died.
No, just blinded pilot.
Just blinded. Oh, sorry, everyone. Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing. Even worse then. Jim is on 14. Suresh commenting, Kyle is in a decent position here. He liked it more than Jim's, and he's even in an even better position now. I agree. You have 2 of your TIE fighters off the board, and part of their power is the fact that you've got 3 of them, and they can all sloop K-turn and get mods. Now he's only got 1 of them, and you've got an I-6 TIE FO, and you've got Hollow against a whole lot of health on the other side of the board. You've only got that green on 1 health. Everyone else is totally fine, untouched. Crassus included in that, and Crassus is going to be a lot of work for Jim to take down, even with Hollow.
Yeah, 100%. And Darth Wombat is correct. That was Savage. even with the lack of double mods on the yellow advanced proton torpedoes, was still able to get that full 5 conversion there. So what do we see with Crassus here? Do we fall forward over the top?
I think so. I think that's your best. Because again, with a 4 forward, you've blocked everything Midnight wants to do. And you also stop Hollow from bugging out. But then, I mean, you might block that with a 1 bank from the yellow skick. Green's not dead, and so I think if Kyle is big brain playing here, he's going to throw Green to the slaughter. Give me back my advanced proton torpedo. That's what he's going to say. Because you would trade, that's 14 points for another advanced proton torpedo that you can double mod. That looks good.
Easy money, right? Yeah. Absolutely. So, Suresh, I think you're correct. I think Crassus is going to bully Hollow. I think the best course of action there is just a 4 forward and then re-engage and try and kind of make the most of that rear arc auto blaster shot. With a reroll, I just think it's the money. Ignoring Midnight for now, because if you trade your TIE Fighter and Hollow for, let's say, the entirety of Kyle's squad, I think Crassus is probably still going to be able to get through Midnight with just weight of dice. But we'll have to see what happens. And Cameron, I will be back in just 1 second.
No worries. Thanks everyone for the follows and the subscriptions so far. It just fills us with excitement and makes us want to talk more and more and more. So I do think, obviously points wise and ship wise, Jim is down. He's lost 2 of his 5 ships, and Kyle's only lost half of 1 of his. So I think the onus is going to be on here. The onus is here on Jim to pull something together. The problem is Crassus just merely existing on the board means that you can't take any risks with Hollow at all, because if you get her out of position once, she can double reposition, but she has to do so at a cost. And not only that, she can't choose the order in which she double repositions. So he's gonna need to get Hollow away from Crassus, behind the rest of Kyle's squad, and really start picking these little guys off. And I think Kyle needs to try and keep Crassus relevant enough while these little guys start taking their locks and getting into position to start throwing these advanced proton torpedoes into another ship. Because Jim really needs to watch out for those advanced proton torpedoes, because they are a spike damage that 3 dice can't save you from. Especially if he's getting them double modded in a perfect world, getting them double modded. Jim got very lucky there that yellow clipped that debris, but then very unlucky when yellow used the tracers mod to make it a full hit.
Yeah, it was quite an unlucky cascade of events there, wasn't it, for Jim? Because he not only got a blinded pilot on green, he also managed to, I mean, he didn't have a say in it, but Kyle also clipped the debris field. So many layers of Kyle's double modded potential kind of escaped him, but he still managed to get the 5 hits on the proton torpedo and wipe off a tie. So that is quite unfortunate.
Suresh makes a good point here. You one hard the red skick and take a lock on Midnight. I think Midnight's going to turn to the right. I don't think she's going to the left, but I actually think that's a great idea, because that will really scare Midnight away at that point. But I think she's turning right. I don't think she'll turn left. But if that blocks, the 4K blocks that, which it would, sorry, the 4 straight blocks that, which it would, then that's probably a dead Midnight. Okay, so taking some time to consider here. This is an important turn. Usually the turn after first engagement is, after the first real engagement, I should say. Do you think green just, I guess, 4Ks. I don't think Jim can really block the 4K.
I'm not sure if the 4K fits.
Well, the blue moves first.
Oh, of course. I'm sorry.
So I think you just do 4K?
Yeah, I think you 4K. You could 4K or hard turn. I mean, either way, just kind of tickling Jim into killing green is good because then Cutthroat triggers and yellow gets his advanced proton torpedoes back. So I quite like it.
Yeah, I think so as well. And I think with yellow, you maybe just one bank, set up for a 3K next turn.
Yeah. Or just a 2 forward as well. I mean, if you just bump it, it's not really the end of the world. Midnight isn't exactly going to be chasing you. Hollow's the only risk this turn. You're probably going to just bump into blue. It's very unlikely that you get bumped into landing on the debris again. So I think that's the move.
Does blue Z? What do these guys have on there? They only have a 4K, I think.
I think a 3K.
They do have a 3K. Okay, cool. So the 3K, I quite like that there because that's a solid little move. The 3K from blue.
Yeah. Which is why I favour leaving the lock on Hollow or just taking a focus action.
I think it may have just been a misplay. I think he may have forgotten that he'd taken the lock on Hollow because there's no reason to take the lock on yellow.
Yeah, but the beauty of having Kyle's squad at all initiative 3 is the fact that, he can kind of choose when and where these ships move and in what order. So if one thing looks dicey, just move one ship out of the way and you're kind of in the clear. So
I quite like Kyle's squad. I think the only thing on there that I think is a question, really, is L337.
What would you have in that slot instead?
I mean, L3 is 4 points. You could take...
Contraband?
Contraband? Does he not have contraband?
No.
Contraband.
No contraband.
Contraband.
You just take it.
You just take contraband.
And then you could take Cutthroat on another Z95.
So Jim's position here with the blue TIE Fighter, I think is interesting. So Kyle can't do the 3K. I'm sure Jim will point it out. Yep, Jim has pointed it out. So Kyle is doing a
2 white forward.
2 white forward. So I think maybe just a misplay there. Must have forgotten that he'd hit that debris last turn. It's not... I mean, it's bad because it keeps the yellow out of the fight for another turn.
Yeah. I think a 2 forward would have been the move there. That's okay.
Sending blue in. Blue is going for blue.
It does block the 4 forward off of Crassus, so I'm going to be interested to see what happens.
There's a chance Crassus just 1 forward bumps and doesn't move and keeps itself behind Hollow and Midnight.
I mean, you're getting the passive mods anyway, so that's not terrible.
So
do you see a bumped red maneuver? So that is a shame for Kyle.
I think Kyle's getting a bit cheeky there, trying to get all these ships turned around. Probably just needs to slow down a little bit and just consider. And he does do the bump. He went for a 3 straight on Crassus.
Yeah, I think they would have bumped into Hollow.
So yeah, Jim pretty happy that only one of those ships turned around there, as Hollow flies straight over the obstacle with a 5K. She will still be able to... So he uses Pattern Analyzer to give himself an action. And the action he's going to take is a lock onto Crassus. I think he's out of Crassus' arc, so he's pretty safe. Gains a stress, gains another stress for the debris, rolls the dice, but can still take the focus action thanks to Proud Tradition.
Yeah, it's such a powerful build, and then is going to be able to hand off one of the stress tokens to one of his ships and proceed as normal next round.
But he does need to be careful because he will be stressed, and so the opportunity is there for Kyle to that one hard from red actually would have blocked that 5K, and then would have put Midnight right in front for a advanced proton torpedo. So Suresh, I'm sure you were very upset watching this not turn out how you wanted it. But yeah, Midnight getting blocked there, not too bad. She may be in Crassus's arc, but I don't think it really matters too much.
I don't think she is.
Jim needs to be careful here because Hollow is. Oh, he's doing the ability. So yeah, you've got to pass the stress off. But he needs to be careful who he shoots because if he shoots into Crassus, she might just say, I'll take a crit. It's fine. Your focus action is now red."
Yeah, 100%.
I could see Jim not shooting here because that's a big risk. I think.
Yeah, that's the pickle with Proud Tradition. The ability to make your enemies' focus actions red if you spend a green token or take a crit. Hollow usually gets around it completely, simply because she often hands off the focus result anyway.
But it is going to be on Kyle to remember.
It is, yeah, 100%. So spending the focus token, keeping the lock. He's going to force an L3 reroll there before Jim has the opportunity to spend the focus.
Yes, that's a very good choice there. Yep.
Kind of getting Jim closer to the red focus result here. Oh, doesn't even need to spend the focus, so it's even worse. I probably wouldn't take a crit here because that would be shields down.
Yeah. So Jim gets pretty good there result. The L3 sort of just re-rolling into the same shot.
Result. Yeah.
Same shot. But L3's secondary ability is not active because the shields need to be down for that.
Correct.
So that was the only shot Jim had this round. And it was a pretty effective shot. You got Crassus down onto one shield. But this is not looking great. He's shooting into the blue. I probably would have taken that range 3 into Hollow, to be honest. But you do have 2 shots going into this blue one.
So. Yeah, you get 6 dice coming in. I think it's all right. One hit in one eye. Just one. Probably going to be all right.
Yep.
And then you've got probably a 2 sloop with blue next turn. Keep the focus result and just be a nuisance. Or you could kind of keep the turnaround and lock up green, lock up yellow. Yeah, I'll be interested. Proud Tradition is strong. Did give the stress token to Midnight here. So we're not going to be seeing a turnaround from Midnight, interestingly enough. Chat, what do you think about that? What do we do with Midnight this coming turn? I would have assumed that Midnight would have turned around here.
Yeah, and I agree, but he had to pass the token somewhere, and he wanted to keep that focus on the offense. The ironic thing is that he didn't spend the focus at all, but he also you don't want to have Hollow double stressed. She needs to get out of this. So she's got a 1 bank and a 1 hard for escape. Ooh, Crassus rolls 3 crits. Luckily for Jim, that is out of Auto Blaster range.
Yeah. Oh no.
Shield and a crit. Into the last remaining Omega Squadron ace. There was
a...
Was it Traces? Oh,
it was Traces.
I think it was Traces. Jim is realizing as well. Okay, that was a very unfortunate Traces shot.
Yeah, so he probably should have shot Crassus first because we've already shot green. Have we shot blue yet?
Yes. So that's, I guess, something for Kyle to think back on. Yeah, if you're going to fire those thread tracers, you fire them first. You get to choose the order of your shots. You all initiative 3. You really want to get those off first because you want to make use of those target locks this round. There's no point having them for next round because you're not guaranteed the shots.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that would have been a really, really hurt blue if that was a primary.
So what do we do with Hollow? I mean, Crassus, I think, has a really easy time just going 1 hard and pursuing Midnight here. Just on the off chance that he's going to be rolling a natural crit, it's going to be auto damage. He's going to be potentially blocking Hollow again if he does a 1 hard or exchanging range 1 shots. I think advantage Kyle here at the moment. There's nothing really that the blue FO fighter can do to prevent this swarm doing what it wants, or this mini swarm, I should say. Um, so what do you do here to try and uh, get a good situation or a good engagement? Do you try and hop over Crassus into the side arc with Hollow? What are we looking at?
I don't think Jim has a lot of great options here. Um, Midnight goes hard 2 left because she can't go hard 1 left, sorry, hard 2 right because you're facing down 2 Z95s then who you don't have a lock on. I think you hard 2 left. I think Hollow is probably okay to just bump into Crassus this turn, so maybe a 1 bank pilot right and hope that you get the block because there's not really anywhere else Hollow can happily go.
Hmm.
Um, I think she's in a really tough spot. Midnight's in a really tough spot, and Blue has a great 2 sloop, but you're still staring down the barrel of 2 fully modded Z95s.
Yeah, you can't do the one hard over the top of Midnight either.
Oh, I forgot Midnight. Yeah, that really bad spot here. Um, really bad spot here for Jim. I think that fear of Crassus has really forced him to just make some riskier moves to avoid copping really solid shots from Crassus coming into his ships because that midnight bump. Well, I'm not going to say it was intentional, but nothing affected those 2 dials that maneuvers that he'd dialed in. So that
Hmm.
bump was happening regardless of what Kyle did.
Yeah, 100%. I think Suresh, you might even consider, you might actually consider going 2 right turn to just try and start trading some dice because if you go too hard to the left, you're just going to be out of the fight for so long with Midnight. That's another turn where she can't turn around and take a focus action even while stressed. It's another turn while she's not rolling dice at Crassus. So it is unfortunate.
It's a good point, yeah. And that seems to be the theme so far. Is none of Jim's shots have been particularly relevant, especially with Midnight and Hollow. They just haven't done much. I mean, that Hollow shot there, stripping 3 shields off um, Crassus was great, but
It was.
so much was sacrificed to get there. We've lost 2 TIE fighters. Hollow was double stressed with a focus token after going over a debris. Um, I just think Jim needs to sort of get his positioning a bit tighter. But the problem is Crassus is such a big threat that it's really hard for Jim to take any safe moves and still get shots, quality
Yeah,
shots.
100%.
The rear arc really does put a bit of a dampener on those proud tradition K turns.
It does, absolutely. But it also entices them a bit more, right? Because, the rear arc auto blaster shot is really dangerous unless you're looking at Crassus, which Proud Tradition does enable you to do. So we'll just have to see what the thought process is here with both players. At the end of the day, Jim has only lost 60 points. So he is well within the realms of taking this game back with 20 minutes left to go. He just needs to start getting Hollow and Midnight into some favorable positions. Because if anyone's going to get half points on Crassus, it is going to be Hollow. It is absolutely going to be Hollow with the ability to double mod. And Crassus only ever has 1 mod on the defense. So I think Kyle probably has to go quick here. I've got 2 moves planned in for Crassus. Either a 4 forward to threaten with a large rear arc, or a 1 hard or 2 hard to the left to start chasing Midnight. It just depends on who you're going to go for. Are you going to go 4 forward to threaten Hollow, or are you going to go 2 hard to threaten, or 1 hard or 2 hard to threaten Midnight?
I think you turn left with Crassus. I think you turn
Yeah.
left because there's very little consequences for you doing that. And maybe Blue. No, Blue can't turn around to shoot you. Blue's doing a 4K anyway. I think it's 2 hard in because that gives you shots with Crassus onto Blue if you want it, and probably shots into Midnight. And if not, you've got a rear arc, and Hollow will either bump into you or leap over the top of you. So that's your least consequential, least bad consequences for you turn. Is you just do a cheeky little 1 turn.
Yep, that's fair. That's fair. So we do see the K turn over the top with the Blue TIE Fighter, making the most of Proud Tradition's focus ability, even while stressed. Not going to get really shot up here. Only going to be looking at 2 Z95 shots and maybe a Crassus shot as well, depending on what they've done. It is looking like they're kind of smothering the top lane there with the Tansari Point veterans, which is leading me to believe that Crassus will start looking at that hard left turn that you've just been talking about, Cameron.
Ooh, unfortunate bump.
It is.
Probably should have had a hard turn in there. A hard 3, I think, would have still cleared space for green, but green will have a fully modded shot into blue, but blue is still at full health, so this could be a bit of a wet noodle. Shots back and forth between the two of those ships. And there is the one hard, which I think is brilliant there for Kyle. I think that's just such a good spot. There, a one hard from Hollow just means you're trading shots with Hollow. Sorry, Hollow can't even fit the one hard, can she?
Yeah, the one bank is now blocked as well, so you're just going to kind of sit there. So I will be interested to see what happens. Maybe Jim kind of just goes over that debris field again. No, we are going to bump. Did try and do the one bank to the right with Hollow, didn't fit. So dangerous position for Hollow here. You're going to be looking at a range 1 shot with Crassus and a range 2 shot from green, unless we see Midnight barrel roll here and take out green before it shoots. With the old
That's true.
initiative.
That's right. Green is only on 1 health, so that's probably the smartest, safest move Jim can do at the moment. Is just try and pilot skill, initiative kill this.
Yeah,
this
absolutely. So what I think you would do with green is, if it survives, you launch the thread tracers into Hollow to give Crassus that really big range 1 primary shot, and just try and hammer the nail home on Hollow, or just get some points.
Yep. If Hollow is off the table, then the game is probably over, because she can kill Crassus on her own. And if she can do that, I think she still has... No, that's Midnight's lock. Hollow still has a lock on... So I need to change myself to spectator, because I don't want them to see my little hand. Yeah, still a lock. Hollow still has a lock, so this is still a good shot for her. 4 dice
it is.
into the 2 dice of Crassus, but it depends on what she takes in return. She's got no mods for defense.
Got to get a lucky roll here with Midnight.
Also good to note as well, green still has that blinded pilot.
Oh, okay. We do get one hit there.
So, yeah, really hoping to strip that focus away just to stop. Even though it's going to be an unmodded thread tracers, no, green is
does get double blanks though, and green's gone. So that's very lucky for Jim. Now can probably trade half on Hollow for half on Crassus. But we do get a cutthroat ability here.
Good on Kyle for remembering. So he would have been actually really good to have that pop last turn, because he could have removed the stress from red. So one thing he's actually forgetting here. Actually, no, he's not forgetting. Never mind. Because you can remove a red token. So if... but I forgot, Crassus doesn't have cutthroat.
Cutthroat, yeah. Marksmanship. Yep, so green's gone, and we're going to see a range 1 shot from Hollow into Crassus here. Blinded pilot on Crassus would be devastating if we get it through.
Oh, yeah. Crushing.
Do get a crit through. Going to spend the lock, so could get 4 hits still. Okay, so 2 crits. So guaranteed 1 shield going down.
Oh, very good for Kyle there. That was the dice he needed on green last turn. So shields are down on Crassus. Still not a bad spot for Kyle. I think he's pretty happy.
Yeah, absolutely. So if he doesn't get much damage through on Hollow here, then he could be in a bit of a tricky scenario. But otherwise, I think you're probably in a good spot. I mean, there is an argument to be made here that you shoot the remaining blue TIE fighter with Crassus to get the auto blasters. But I think you've got such a good shot on Hollow that you have to take it.
So no damage in the exchange between the TIE fighter and the Z95.
Okay, and we've just got Crassus' shot. Think you have to take that range 1 into Hollow. What do we think, chat?
I want to know what Suresh thinks.
Our subscriber.
I want to see where I don't know where the cam damage went, but I want to hear what he has to say as well. All right, so Kyle is debating here. Honestly, it's a good auto blaster shot into blue, but he instead opts for that even better range 1 shot. Do you do an auto blaster here to get the double mods? Oh, look, a range ruler. Oh, look, 2 range rulers.
No, because you'd lose a red dice.
But I mean, you get a reroll. What's better, a red dice or a reroll? I think
it's probably 3 hits either way, but there you go.
4 hits. 4 hits. So guaranteed damage going into Hollow here. Half points on Hollow.
Half points.
That gives Kyle a very sizable lead, 91 to 27.
So how do you make the best of a bad scenario here? Do you do a 5k again or a 2 sloop with Hollow to try and get in the rear of Crassus and just kind of cement half points?
You've got to do a sloop.
Midnight.
You've got to do a sloop with Hollow. A 5k. I mean, you're assuming the skicks are going to just do 3ks, turn around and start coming back in. But look, hard ones are even better. If he hard ones both of those and just locks into Hollow, Hollow is going to be in a bad spot. But he needs to kill Crassus, and I don't think he's got
the firepower.
No, just Hollow had to exchange range 1 shots. She got a good shot in, but that shot back just half points on Hollow now. He can't risk a single auto blaster shot in the back. He cannot, because that's dead. Yeah, I think Jim's in a real uphill battle here, and he's just let those skicks and the Z95s do way too much work in that first engagement. I mean, he didn't let them. The dice really just minced him. And all his shots into that 1 green, not killing it, and then losing 2 TIE fighters in that first engagement has just put him at such a disadvantage. And with Crassus so healthy, it's just meant that Hollow can't get in the fight.
Yeah, absolutely. Morning, Mars TMT. Hope you're doing well today. And I hope you're enjoying the Saturday Slug Extravaganza. Or is it the Slug Saturday Extravaganza?
Space Slug Saturday Extravaganza.
Okay. There we go. We'll get there in the end.
I debated in the order for a little while, and then ended up just typing it out and not even thinking about it. So,
seeing what stuck.
Just the first thing that came to my mind. Weekend is to practice for XTC. I agree. And you know what you can do? You can practice XTC while also watching the stream. How good's that?
It's just fantastic.
So good. So I think positioning-wise, Kyle's in a really great spot here. He's got a nice, easy turn. He can just one bank with that the blue Z. Probably there's a solid chance he gets bumped. I don't hate a 4K with blue. A 4K probably gets you a shot on midnight. Even a 4K probably gets you far enough away. The only thing is that where's that blue TIE fighter going? He's going to have to turn or do a 3 straight. Does a 3 straight fit?
Nah, 3 straight won't fit.
They don't have 4 blue, do they?
It's close. They don't have 4 blue, no.
So, yeah, blue's actually not in a great spot. Blue TIE fighter, I mean.
I don't think the 2 bank is beautiful either because depending on what blue Z95 does, it might just kind of be unanswered shots. So you might actually just need to program in the 3 forward, see if it fits. If it doesn't fit, you're probably just going to trade with blue. What does Crassus do here? A 4K or?
Well, it should be noted that L3's secondary ability, her flip side ability, is now active. So all of his banks are blue. Doesn't make a massive difference, but they're all blue now. I think, 4K. 4K is just nothing that Jim can really do about it. Although, if that 3 forward bumps, your 4K may not fit.
Yes, I think you'd bump into midnight.
Huh?
I think you'd bump into midnight. You'd jump over the top of
right, okay.
Hollow.
Yeah, I do think you just leave the 4K in, because even if you bump, you've still got your rear arc.
Yeah, active for the Hollow shot,
I think you
absolutely.
4K blue Z95.
Yep.
And then I think you hard turn yellow and red skicks and just take a lock on Hollow.
I don't love the 4K from the Z95.
I
I know it
do.
blocks a couple of the midnight maneuvers, but I think you're just going to get shot by blue TIE fighter if that's the case.
McLovin, I just 1 to 2 bank, use rear arc, and turn next turn. Yeah.
Do we want to become famous?
Oh, sorry. I'll block that. Just give me a sec.
Okay. Okay, so we've done a 3 forward. Did bump, so the 4K is going to clear if that's what Kyle's decided to do. The 4K off the blue Z95 probably gets you a shot into blue, so excuse me for being incorrect.
That's okay.
And Nathan Squadron, you know you've made it big when you get spam bots.
Yeah, I was just about to say that, but I didn't want to cut Tom off.
Okay, so just a 1 forward here. So I think the 1 bank or the 4K would have been the right move.
Yeah, they were your options, I think.
But is probably going to be blocking the 2 sloop from midnight if that's the plan. And we are going to get a beautiful auto blaster shot into the blue
Yeah.
TIE fighter if he doesn't decide to shoot into hollow.
2 sloop. That was the correct move. But I don't know if you want to take that range 1 shot. He's just going to try and burn Crassus.
I think you have to. You don't have any mods off Crassus. I mean, you could get a mod if you fire the auto blasters, but then you're not going to get any automatic damage through. So there is a chance that Hollow survives here.
So hang on. There's just a bit of a misplay. Hollow needs to take a token.
A token? Sorry?
Oh no, he pattern analyzer. Never mind. Never mind.
Yep. And I think I probably would have done a focus evade with Hollow there. Because you know that you're going to take 4 dice at least from Crassus, unless Crassus decides to shoot into the blue Omega Squadron,
which would be a misplay.
Yeah, I think you have to kill Hollow, right? Is that what we do?
Yep, you have to kill Hollow. And if you shoot auto blast and cannon out the back, oh no, you just shoot primary. Says midnight, wet noodle.
Wet noodle has been bumped or not had the appropriate tokens pretty much every round though. There's Hollow. Probably just spend the lock on all 4 dice. No, he's just going to accept the fact that
there's a good chance Hollow dies here.
Regardless, you mean? Even if you
I think so.
Keep the focus. So we are going to get half health.
So she's the most expensive ship on the board. So that does feel good, and it gets Jim back up in striking range at 91 Kyle's way, 66 Jim. But Kyle hasn't taken his shots yet, and those skicks do have shots into midnight.
Yeah.
It's just 1. No focus. He did bump.
He shouldn't be... Oh, no, sorry. He should be stressed because Hollow passed it over. Does take a shield on blue, though. Or was
shield
it red?
On blue? It was red. It was red.
He shot at the... He shot at the Tensari points.
Yep.
Probably take the shots into midnight here.
I mean, he does have a target lock on blue. But you've got range 2 into midnight, and midnight has no mods, so...
And you're going to get that advanced proton torpedoes next turn no matter what into blue, unless you die somehow.
True. So
just leave it. No, he's going to shoot. Okay. Don't spend the lock,
probably
please.
wouldn't spend the lock here.
No.
Do it, you've got a shield there.
Oh, he's doing it.
Kyle, you are too trigger happy on those locks, my friend. You need to leave the locks. Leave the locks.
Oh, he's doing it. Because he'd have a double modded proton torpedo.
Yeah. Next turn.
Oh.
Ooh. Watch Jim blank, and Kyle will be like, nice, I got a crit in.
See, that's the thing.
You're right. That just completely nullified a fully modded advanced proton torpedo next turn.
Yeah, 100%.
And that would have been a dead blue.
Absolutely.
Oh, he's got a cheeky shot into hollow. Yeah, take that.
Yeah, take it. Absolutely.
You could kill her here and then blow up.
One
Oh,
hit.
that is
No,
a hit.
can't
It's a
kill
funny
it.
little balance. But Hollow's doesn't want to take a damage here at all. Oh, takes it. Takes a damage.
Okay, so almost guaranteed to kill Hollow here.
Yeah, the very average dice kills Hollow.
Yep, yep. So you probably shoot the auto blasters here with the reroll. I'd say just get the free reroll. That's your only mod. What do you think, Cameron? Or would you just go?
I don't
for
know.
your 4 dice
I don't know what the maths is. There's maths behind that, right?
Chat. What do you reckon?
Of which is better.
He's going to go for the normal gun. Oh, he could survive here. Just 2 hits.
Yeah, no difference. I actually think it's no difference as well. I would like to roll more dice, so I would just roll more dice. Gets him.
So close.
Yeah, Dead Hollow pretty much means game over there.
I'd say so.
Midnight.
With 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, essentially one turn left. Kyle leads 122 to 66, which is literally half. Wait, no, it's not. 132 would be literally half. Not here for maths, okay? I'm here for X-Wing. Yeah, really bad spot here for Jim. Yeah, I think this is probably a bad matchup, I think, for Jim from the beginning. Just Crassus is easily able to bully an ace like Hollow with the double arcs and the auto blaster cannons.
They did sort of just joust, though. Which I think doesn't favor Hollow's ability to flank and get double modifications. Like, there is a world where Hollow just never gets shot by Crassus and just keeps pecking from the side and gets an inevitable kind of half points. So if you had, say, your 2 blocks, your FO block, jousting your scum block, and then Hollow kind of always pressuring or being at least facing at Crassus to never get auto damage through, I think there's a world where Crassus is dead here and Hollow is still alive.
Yeah, I think the problem is, and you are right, it was essentially a joust, and I think there may have been an expectation from Jim that Crassus would follow down to the center of the board, and he was hoping to get Hollow into that flank, but by the point that first engagement had happened and Hollow ended up behind that middle gas cloud on the bottom section of the board, she didn't really have anywhere else she could go. And Crassus had that easy turn into the combat and has stayed there basically, just
Correct.
keeping. And Hollow has not. Jim decided, and I'm not sure he even really had the opportunity to bug out, reset, and come back in, and just kept Hollow. That 2 sloop there was rough.
What he needed to do, though, I think, because he needed to get half health, hope that Hollow survives, and even potentially kill Crassus next turn, because Crassus only has 3 health left. So there's a world where Hollow just initiative kills Crassus there.
But is it this world? No.
It is not this world, no. But I think, Hollow and Midnight kind of bumped quite a bit each other as well, which limited their own escape routes and maneuverability. So there was multiple times where, say, Hollow had maneuvers that looked favorable, but unfortunately they were blocked by Jim's own Midnight. I think there is a world where Jim wins this, but the movement options were limited after the first or second engage.
And I think separating out Hollow and Midnight next to each other was a bit of a downside. I think that really worked against Jim's squad's ability to move in and start doing damage and get a flank on, because he didn't really push the pressure. I mean, if you present me 3 TIFOs and Hollow and Midnight, I'm going for Hollow and Midnight. And really, that worked in Kyle's favour, because I think if he just left Hollow on her own and just had used her as bait and run all the way down the board and sent Midnight with the other TIFOs, I think it would have been a very different game.
100%. And this is where Kyle really would have loved to have kept that target lock from red into blue, because it's almost, I mean, there you would have had a double modded proton torpedo and probably another proton torpedo, because yellow Tensari Point still has a lock onto blue. So it would have been 10 fully modified dice into blue. Now he's only going to get 5 double modded dice.
You don't think that's range 1? No, it's probably not.
It is range 1.
from yellow.
Yeah, 100%. What I'm saying is that he didn't even take a lock again. He's just. Oh, he does have a lock?
Yeah,
I'm
yellow's already got a
confused.
lock.
No, but what about red?
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he didn't reacquire.
But what
Yeah.
he can do here, and I don't think it's a good idea, but he can do it, is you fire yellow first, advanced proton torpedoes. Then, if needed, Crassus still has
I
third
don't think
traces.
Crassus has arc
Maybe
on
not.
blue.
So you really want to get 3 crits, blank out, and then just like no. Spend the focus. You've got to do something,
Yeah, you got to get half points.
and he can.
He can.
But a
Absolutely.
focus here with this 10 story point veteran doesn't help him. Gets half points.
Could have killed him if he had one more damage through there. So probably just go for red. Try and get the ship off the table. And it is range 2. I'm sorry. I really thought that was range 1 with yellow.
I think blue still has target lock as well. So blue has a decent enough shot into. I think you spend the focus here. You can't.
Yeah, 100%. You just got to do it.
You can't be worried about bleeding points. You basically bled out. So
And that is time in the round. So there's no chance for Jim to get these points, is there?
I don't think so.
Because he
No.
unfortunately hasn't killed red, but even if he did, he wouldn't have gotten it.
No, that was it because that's all his shots. So I'm just really upset he didn't take that target lock.
Yeah.
He doesn't have
Or
a target
just
lock.
keep it from last turn.
He
yeah.
doesn't have a target lock. He's firing these advanced
doesn't.
proton torpedoes. You don't have a lock.
Yeah, he spent it.
Now
last
they're
turn.
looking for it.
Yeah, there it is. It's not there. That's why you keep it at range 3.
Yeah, he's got it. He's figured it out. Oh!
Oh, it's a little mini proton torpedo, though, isn't it? Gee whiz.
Imagine. Oh.
Is that a dead TIE fighter? No.
No, shield and a crit.
Not yet.
If that wasn't a thread tracers a couple of turns ago, it would have been. What's the crit?
Wounded pilot.
Wounded.
Not going to matter. But we could see a dead TIE fighter here. We've got 2 more shots coming in, 4 more dice.
This is double modded, but unfortunately not range
Not
1.
the right range, yeah. Spend the focus. You're not getting any shots
Spend
back.
a lock.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Reroll both. No, you wouldn't do that. Oh no. Spends the focus. Just 1. I don't think Crassus will have arc. Doesn't do any damage.
Would have been fine anyway.
Try and ping half points on midnight, maybe.
We got blue still to shoot.
Oh yeah, that's true. And blue does have a target lock as well. So you can get half points on midnight here.
Thracer treads are pretty good. Who knew, right? Just target locks galore.
Tracer threads.
Thread tracers. I keep saying that.
So hit crit. Totally fine. Yeah, it doesn't. Oh, I guess yeah. Blue still has its shot. Their shot. Range 2. It's modded.
What do you do? You go midnight? Nah,
Nah,
you have to go.
Go into
You go
the
blue.
little bugger. I mean, actually, you probably go midnight. It's exactly the same. Oh no,
got a
because you've got
mod.
the mod on blue. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jim loving the natural crits that Carl's been rolling.
Oh, hit crit.
Hit crit
He
could
could
do
get
it.
him.
Could do it.
Oh, the
Oh,
crit could
could
do
do
it.
it.
It could be a direct.
Be the second direct to kill a. He's pulling it out. He's making it big.
He's making it
We'll
big.
see what happens. Oh, it's a direct.
It is a direct. Final points on the board there.
We're laughing with you, Jim. We're not laughing at you. That's
Absolutely.
so unfortunate. That's the second TIE fighter to die to a direct hit.
All right, so should we jump in the chat?
Yep, so I'll just update everyone. So that's the end of game 1. We have game 2 coming up in 10 minutes. That will be between Tom Harper and Matt Deering. I will need to... I'll need to go and set that up while you chat to the guys, actually, Tom. So we'll jump over into that chat, and I will get everything set up for that. So I'm just going to take us to the Be Right Back screen, but you guys can keep chatting away. So we'll jump over into their room there.
G'day, guys. How you going? How you feeling after the game?
Yeah, pretty well. Pretty good, actually.
Pretty good.
I'm laughing.
You're laughing? Yeah. So, what do we think of each other's approaches? Kyle, we'll start with you. How did you find Crassus's utility in that game?
He's actually really flexible. We had some good runs with like every upgrade that I've attached to him. So the marksmanship and auto blasters really did a number on his TIE fighter to guarantee those crit hits. Even the thread traces, I guess at the end, when I got the Omega Squadron Ace 3 in blue to get that final direct hit as well. I mean, I guess in this entire squad, yeah, it's just really all about synergy, to be honest.
Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. I think the one thing that you might rewatch and see is that you had shots on Omega Squadron 3, and I believe you shot 2 of your generic ships and then decided to launch the thread tracers from Crassus. Whereas if you had have done it the other way around, you would have had modifications for all of your generic shots had the tracers hit. So, I think that was probably the only instance of target priority that needed to be improved. Otherwise, I think you did a really good job. I think you had really strong positional play. What did you think about the rest of your squad? So this is the first time you've kind of run this specific iteration. Would you change anything?
Not particularly. If I was to do anything, I would maybe transfer the thread traces from Crassus onto the blue Black Sun Soldier, and probably add cut thread as well. But it's not really necessary, to be honest. If I'm to be honest, pretty happy with it so far.
Good. No, I'm really happy. And what about you, Jim? What did you think?
No, I think Carl's flying this match is really good. I liked his setup. Particularly, I think I psyched myself out. I know having versed Carl and this squad numerous times, we normally see a faster push out from him, and his slow push out early was really good. It left Crassus in a really good position to just split off and pressure both Hollow and Midnight on the side there. I probably wasn't happy with my setup. I was considering putting Hollow on the opposite side of the field, but probably the better option, I think. I did want to play that tighter, tricky shot here. Every other time I've gone up against this squad, and Kyle and I have run both these squads against each other a few times now. I feel like I really need Hollow in that fight early to either cop some of those proton torps out, or just really punch into Crassus.
Okay. Yeah, I think it ended up in a bit of a joust position, which I don't think favored you. And I think the last couple of minutes we were discussing on stream that had you have set up Hollow on the other side and run your TIE fighters together in a block, there's a chance that you even outjoust the scum block, because you can prevent them from getting double modded proton torpedoes, and then Hollow just continuously nips at Crassus's side. And then there's a chance that Crassus dies and Hollow just cleans up the rest of the swarm. But no, I think both of you guys did really well. It was a really, really fun match to watch. And what's the total between these squads up against each other between you guys?
I think
1-1.
Oh, out of all our matches so far?
Just with these two squads between you and Kyle.
I think that's either 2-1 or 3-1 my way.
Okay.
So Carl's actually been adapting to it really well, taking a lot of feedback, changing his approach, and it's worked out for him this game.
Yeah, fantastic. Because I was going to say, if it was 1-1, then we need to have the tiebreaker at some point soon. But Kyle, how'd you find the first stream?
It's great. It's the first time I've ever played like on TTS. We had a practice match last night, but this is the first stream. I'd love to come back and play more. It's really fun.
Yeah, it
So-
is fun, and it's also a fantastic piece of learning utility because you can also watch these games back. You can listen to them in terms of commentary as well. You can read the chat as they're coming up. So no, look, thanks so much for coming on. We really appreciate it, and would definitely love to have you back.
All right, yeah, absolutely. Anytime. Just let me know the time and day. We'd be able to play some crazy lists and roll some dice.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, look, guys, we'll leave it there. I've got to go set up because I'm playing in 5 minutes. Yeah, so for the stream and for you guys, we'll be back in about 5 minutes with me, and really appreciate everyone being on. So Cameron, if you can switch us to mute and turn up the background music a little bit more, we'll be right back. And thanks again to Kyle and Jim for coming on stream and playing with us today.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks.